How's it guys, this is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to another Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video we're going to be talking about the Game Week 5 team selection. We're going to look at how the squad got on in Game Week 4 and then look at our transfer plan that's going to lead us into that Game Week 5 team selection. A lot to talk about, so if that's something you're interested in, sit back, relax and let's get into it. So a new season calls for a new sponsor, but here on the Dayvy FPL channel we like our old. So I've brought back the old sponsor, OneFootball, but with a completely new revamped app. Yes, OneFootball has gone over a complete marketing revamp, new logo, new everything. I've checked it out, looks really good. They kind of took the old app but just made it better, so I'm really appreciative of that. If you want to go check them out, link down in the description below to go download the app. If you don't know who they are, they're the biggest app on iOS and Android, so go check them out. I personally use them, so I can recommend them from a personal level. So this is how the squad got on in Game Week 4, a relatively weird game week, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. We managed to get 38 points, but remember we did take a -4 hit with those two transfers that we did, so that took us down to 34 points. I think that was just below the threshold of a green arrow, so unfortunately it was a little bit of a small red arrow this week, which took us to about that 3.8 million mark. Not really where we want to be at this stage of FPL, but it is only after 4 game weeks, so hopefully the next couple game weeks are going to be green arrows and we can make that rank look a little bit more respectable. The -4 actually did pay off, our main reason being I brought in Sterling for the injured / sick Mane, and I ended up captaining Sterling, and if I didn't bring him in I would have captained Bruyne, and as you know De Bruyne ended up blanking, so the Sterling captaincy and the -4 hit actually came in handy when I did compare the points that my other team would have scored compared to this one. I was a little bit annoyed with Sterling, he could have actually done a lot better, and the other move that I was considering was Salah captain if I managed to bring in Salah instead of Sterling, and that I think would have looked like a better move with the upcoming game weeks, especially because of those lovely Liverpool fixtures. But we'll be talking about each position as we go along. So Ramsdale in goal. Now I was not expecting Ramsdale to get a clean sheet in this one. They did face Arsenal, who from an attacking point of view are a really good side this season, even from a defensive point of view as well. They look like one of the better teams in the Premier League at the moment, but Sheffield United definitely don't. They look like one of the worst teams in the Prem at the moment. So I'm a little bit worried. You never really want to own the worst team in the Premier League's goalkeeper, but unfortunately that's just the situation that we're in currently. I don't really have much hope that they're going to rebound from this, and as soon as I don't have another fight to put out in my starting 11 in more of an attacking position, I definitely will probably be taking Ramsdale out, as I am expecting a little bit of a price drop for him as well. Moving on to the rest of the defense, not much to talk about here. We have Coleman here with 1 point. Everton yet again not managing to keep a clean sheet. For a side that's playing so well, they're definitely not from a defensive point of view doing that well. Only that clean sheet in game week 1 against Spurs that they managed to keep, but Coleman unfortunately not getting any attacking returns here. He is injured currently, is yellow flagged, but then in a press conference today, Ancelotti says that he is expecting him to come back for this fixture against Liverpool. I won't be playing him probably, but it's nice to know that at least he's back and I don't have to transfer him out because of an injury. Walker Peters with 5 points here. Really nice to get some returns from the Southampton defender. He's been kind of a main occurrence in these past couple game weeks where he's managed to get some either attacking returns or some defensive returns, so I'm really happy to keep him in here, as it looks like Southampton have rebounded from that poor start that they've had. We have Alexander-Arnold here with probably the shock result of the weekend, 7-2 to Aston Villa. Now I'm not taking anything away from Aston Villa, but I do think even their own fans probably wouldn't have predicted a massive victory like that, and that led to Alexander-Arnold getting negative points. There's not many times that your defender manages to concede that many goals, so a -1 point from Alexander-Arnold is a rare occurrence, but we just kind of have to take this one on the chin. A little bit annoying for those of you who have that double or triple Liverpool defense. Probably quite a bad game week for you overall then, but I still think that Liverpool from a defensive point of view going to be keeping a couple of clean sheets up in the fixtures ahead. We spoke about Salah and Liverpool having those really nice fixtures, so I'm expecting Alexander-Arnold and overall Liverpool to rebound from this. In the midfield, things are also quite bland. Unfortunately, Harvey Barnes not getting any returns. Leicester really not playing well. I thought this was going to be the game week where Harvey Barnes can kind of tick on and get another double-digit return like he did in a previous game week, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. Yet another result that was a little bit hard to predict, and I definitely thought that Leicester would be playing better considering they managed to play so well against Man City in the previous game week, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. Then we have Podence with 3 points. At least he got me the clean sheet point here. here. I'm really happy that he played, but Podence and Raul Jimenez, I brought them in for these lovely fixtures up ahead. They had Fulham and they didn't manage to perform. I mean, if you're not performing against Fulham, who are definitely one of the worst teams in the Prem, are you even going to perform in the other games? Maybe that's what we have to look at in this FPL season. We have to look for the red fixtures instead of the green ones, because maybe that's how this season's going to go. So Podence, overall quite disappointed with him. It doesn't look like it's going to be paying off. I managed to take a -4 for him a couple of game weeks ago for St. Maximum, and that, you know how that went with St. Maximum scoring and getting an assist this weekend. So definitely not a -4 that I'm going to look back on with much success. Then we have the Man City assets, De Bruyne and Sterling. De Bruyne managed to blank. Overall, Man City didn't play as well. I was really expecting them to go and thump Leeds. It wasn't how we predicted. Just a 1-1 draw there, as Sterling managing to get the goal. Was annoyed with Sterling though, because he had a nice one-on-one that would have managed to win City that game, but he ended up missing it. Not really missing it, but kind of tried to dribble around himself and then managing to just mess it up. So Sterling managing only the 9 points there, a double to 18. Then the forward line, I think this is the second game week in a row that our forwards have all returned 2 points. That just tells me something's wrong with the forwards, but I was really disappointed with Raul Jimenez, especially because I brought him in as part of a -4 hit and he didn't return. I guess the only kind of good thing about that was I was also considering Danny Ings and he also blanked. But Timo Werner yet again, Chelsea scoring so many goals this week, but he's just not involved in anything. Playing out wide, which is a terrible position for him, basically getting no attacking threat. And I'm really worried about him in that Chelsea lineup. So maybe if Pulisic and Ziyech come back, maybe he'll play up front again, and hopefully that'll equal some more FPL points. We have Mitrovic. Wasn't expecting too much from him because they were playing Wolves, but in the upcoming game weeks, Fulham have some nice fixtures, and because he is that main talisman, I'm hoping that he can just get some returns. On the bench, nothing much to talk about, but just Basuma, 9 points, a lovely volley. Go check that goal out if you have not seen it. Was a really lovely taken goal. I was not expecting him to score. Obviously, that's why I put him on my bench. But at least at 4.5, I'm happy that I own him. If he scores every now and again, that's going to be perfect for that price bracket. But I doubt that I'll be playing the Brighton midfielder too many times. And hopefully he doesn't make a habit of this kind of scoring on my bench, because then I'm not going to be too happy about it. But let's get on and look at the transfer plan going into game week 5. So personally, at the start of the kind of this break, international break that we've had, I wasn't planning on making a transfer. I was going to make 2 transfers in the following game week, maybe a little bit of a mini wild card, taking a -4 or -8 hit to get the players we want in and the players we don't want out. But with this current injury news that we're getting, I might be forced into making a change, and this change kind of revolves around the Man City midfielder. So De Bruyne and Sterling are rumored to be injured. Sterling actually withdrew from the England squad quite early on in the international break, whereas De Bruyne has been a recent one. It seems De Bruyne's is more of an issue of tiredness than of an injury, so just keep your eyes on that one. I'm hoping that Pep Guardiola in his press conference gives us some news about these 2 players, but he's not the best manager to kind of rely on for reliable injury news, because sometimes he doesn't give us the full story. But at least some news will be helpful for Raheem Sterling and De Bruyne, because if they are injured, I probably will be taking them out, because I was planning on taking one of them out next game week anyway. The player I bring in could be Salah or it could be Son, but I'm currently favoring Son because of the whole captaincy issue we're going for. A really hard game week this game week, because a lot of the premium teams have tough opposition, whereas Son plays West Ham. Now West Ham have been looking better recently over the last couple game weeks, but I do think that Spurs have also been looking great, and Son's definitely one of the best captaincy options to go for this week. So if one of these 2 players is injured, Son will be coming in, and then I'll be captaining him as well. So just keep your eyes on that over on my Twitter page. I will confirm my transfers if I do one. Otherwise, maybe in the deadline stream if we're going to be doing a live transfer. But let's get on and see how the lineup's looking for game week 5. So this is the lineup currently with no transfers made. This will obviously change if one of Raheem Sterling or Kevin De Bruyne is injured, and that'll probably see Heung-min Son coming in and becoming our captain. So currently the captaincy is on Sterling, because I think out of De Bruyne and Sterling, I'll probably be favoring Sterling just because of his lower ownership, and I think we might have to look at a more differential captain with how badly we're doing this season, but this can always change, as I said. So starting off in goal, it's Ramsdale. So this is the only fixture that I'm really happy to own Ramsdale, because I have Ramsdale and I have Mitrovic. So surely one of them is going to return. Either Ramsdale will get the clean sheet or Mitrovic will get the goal, and I'll be happy with either one. So not too worried about that. The rest of the defense are better fixtures and some bad ones. Taylor, West Bromwich Albion. West Bromwich Albion are actually a pretty decent attacking side. So I'm worried because Burnley haven't been their defensive selves from the start of the season. So I'm not too reliable on that clean sheet from Taylor. Walker Peters against Chelsea. I don't think it's going to be a clean sheet. Maybe attacking return could be quite welcome. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold faces Everton Everton. Everton, probably the most informed team currently in the Premier League, sitting at the top of it. So I really do hope that maybe Alexander-Arnold can get a clean sheet here, or maybe some attacking returns. I'm just hoping for anything from Trent because I'm really worried about this Liverpool versus Everton game. In the midfield, we still have some nice fixtures for Barnes and Podence. We have Aston Villa and Leeds. Now, Leeds have shown from a defensive point of view that they can hold out Man City, so surely they can hold out Wolves. But maybe this is a more open game, and then Podence and Raul Jimenez can get some returns, which will be quite welcomed. Kevin De Bruyne and Sterling, not much to talk about them, just the fact that they are yellow flagged. And then in the forward line, we have Mitrovic, spoken about him, and then Timo Werner. So I'm still being a little bit patient with Timo Werner because if I gave him the last game week, I can give him this one. Southampton play that high line at the start of the season, so if they do replicate that high line, I'm pretty sure Timo Werner can get some returns in there because he is a pacey striker who likes to get in behind the defense, and I'm hoping at least he gets some returns here. That's paid off my patience. Raul Jimenez, same with Podence, has a good fixture, just hoping that they can do the job against Leeds. And then on the bench, we have Coleman against Liverpool, currently yellow flagged as well, but I don't think I would have played him anyway. And then Basuma and Ferguson probably aren't going to play, so they're going to be on the bench for most game weeks. But this is how the squad's looking out. Just stay tuned to that deadline stream and my Twitter for further updates. So this is basically a wrap of the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like it if you did, and subscribe if you're new or have not subscribed yet. Hopefully Game Week 5 is finally a green arrow for us, then I'm pretty sure we're all going to be happy. I'll be checking you guys in that deadline stream or on my Twitter page at DayvyFPL, and I'm going to be signing off. This has been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.